Hello everyone, Sarah Divinely You here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for all of your feedback and comments and messages and all that for these videos, for my posts, and all that. I've been really diving in and just studying a lot and learning a lot and kind of having fun, honestly. So I think it's interesting. I wore a very masculine, this is the Handsome Bastard barbershop t-shirt, but it's a very comfortable fitting t-shirt, I gotta be honest. But it's a very masculine t-shirt for what I'm gonna kind of talk about today, which is divine feminine and divine masculine. And this is gonna be a very tip of the iceberg, gloss over the surface, because I don't do these very long, and I've taken hours of classwork from the astrological standpoint of masculine and feminine, especially divine masculine, divine feminine energy. And I was thinking about the fact that I have pulled that Queen of Pentacles card multiple times in many of my last videos. I've shuffled the deck. I've done other tarot pulls for other people in other situations and have not pulled that, but for every time I do these videos, I tend to be pulling that Queen of Pentacles upright, and she's tending her garden. And I thought that was very interesting, and I was kind of just pondering on it and thinking it through and thinking about, Neptune is going to be stationing direct tomorrow, Saturday, and we've got this massive full moon, as if we haven't had any, we've had several big lunation cycles over the last couple of months with the solar eclipse in Scorpio, and then the Taurus total lunar eclipse. And I was thinking about that as we head into this full moon in Gemini that's going to conjunct Mars, and that we have opposition. We've had opposition with Sagittarius energy being Venus and Mercury. And I'm like, what is all this connect the dots? Like, that's kind of what you do with astrology, is you connect the dots, and then you've got the asteroids, tarot, and other types of energies that or tools that we use to kind of connect it all together and sort of make it all make sense, right? And it kind of brings me back to this divine masculine, divine feminine energy and what's going on with the divine feminine. And if you go back several videos ago, I talked about a bunch of women and I got together in a healing circle around that lunar eclipse, and, talked about our not so good relationships with men. And then I've also done a few other healing circles recently focused on women, and women just outwardly talking about the things that they want healing around, and whether that's their relationship with the masculine, or whether or not they do or don't have children, their career, and all these things. And I'll be honest, I am somebody who used to be a full-blown feminist. I even studied feminism in college when I was an undergrad, and I don't believe in that anymore. This is how I can tell you our beliefs shift, because as I have gone through life, I'm 43, and when I was 30-ish, 30, was it 10 years ago, 12 years ago, so 31, I quit a full-time job, and because it no longer aligned. And the reason it didn't align, and the times that I have tried to work full time, I have been so exhausted and depressed and all kinds of other things that drag me down. And the reason is because I understand now from studying my own astrology and studying my human design that I tend to absorb other people's energy. So I'm saying all of this to say that women have a special gift. Feminine energy has a special gift. We are very empathic, and I'm not saying men are not. I'm just directing this at women and feminine energy, because what's happening in my own observation is that the feminine energy tends to be creative, visionary, more flow, and kind of just, and definitely more healing. We're obviously nurturing and, maternal. And men tend to be more of the executor, or the, get the thing done type of energy, and both work in a balanced form. And so, when I tried to be masculine, like overly masculine, as in trying to work a full-time job, I owned a house and trying to do repairs on the house and trying to have a life, it didn't work for me because for me that was too much. I have masculine energy because we all have masculine and feminine energy. But as a divine feminine, I'm definitely more of a flow, creative, visionary. And so, what I'm noticing as we get close to this full moon, and definitely as we get closer to the solstice this coming up in December, and other major transits that are happening, especially when we have the involvement of asteroids I've talked about, Hygieia and Ceres, is that the feminine is healing. The divine feminine is healing herself. And because of that, I feel like the more we try to be the doer, whether you're a man or a woman, this is masculine and feminine energy is separate from men and women. It is, we all have masculine and feminine, and we obviously work together as females and males. Okay, so the more we try to do or think, the more I'm seeing that people are getting exhausted, maybe getting sick, maybe getting overwhelmed, maybe having like mental breakdowns, possibly all of those things. And for me personally, I take a lot of rest time because I get overwhelmed by people, interacting with people. And so if you are noticing this about yourself or people around you, this is what this is the structure, the large, grander scale structure that's coming apart, because feminine energy is more of flow. It's more of a being. It's more of emotional. It's more nurturing. It's more vision. It's more artistic creativity. And feminines are healing themselves and breaking apart from that having to do all of the things structure, right? Whatever that looks like for you, okay? And the reason that, in my own observation, the reason that men are struggling is because it's the same thing. Their masculine is healing as the feminine is healing, right? So I know this is kind of a broader concept, but if you want to think like super big picture, that's what's happening. Is we are breaking down this programming of doing all of the things all of the damn time, and acknowledging that we are souls living in a human body, and some of our souls are not meant to do all of the damn things all of the damn time, right? That we have to care for ourselves, that and this is like the hardest time to do it, right? Because we've got so many things going on in our external world. And this is why, if I come back to many of the things I've said over the last few weeks, which is that this time is all about you reconnecting with yourself and your reconnection with God, source, universe, divine, whatever you call your higher power, right? Obviously I call mine the divine, because Sarah, divinely you. Anyway, so as we go through this stretch of time and what's been transpiring over the last couple of years, is like, that's the bigger picture, is a rebalance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, both within ourselves, each of us, and in the external, like how we relate to each other, right? And so, and that also comes back to, we're all in our own journeys. Not everybody's going to be in the same place. And, some people have different places that they need to heal from. And so, compassion and understanding and accepting where one another is on the journey. So I did not pull from the tarot because I kept pulling the same card. So I was like, let me try a different deck and see what happens. So I pulled from, this is Believe in Your Own Magic. I got the Garden. And this is perfect because as we come into winter, the ground's going to freeze, it's going to get covered with snow, or it's going to rain depending on where you are, or, in some way your weather's going to change with the winter season. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, the summer season. But what happens when you know, the ground thaws and you know, the snow goes away, is we have, so something beautiful. So it may seem like things are completely falling apart, you know, the collapse moment, and you know, you have to till the garden, you have to let the ground kind of go through its own process to refertilize, to build something new and to grow new plants, and in this case we are the plants, right? I also got the shark card, which is run away from that situation or swim away from that situation, as the case may be. And I feel like this is like that whole like, get away from shit that doesn't align. If you're completely miserable, unhappy, dissatisfied, whatever it is, whether it's a job, career, friends, whatever it is, if you're completely dissatisfied, stop making yourself do those things. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. This is a lot to digest. Like I said, I've taken tons of courses on the divine masculine and divine feminine and the rebalance of it and all that. So, you know, feel free to message me if you have questions or otherwise. And yeah, hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you on the next video.